Can you see the herd?
Yep.
Get a picture of that too,
Yeah.
John. We're going to set up. We just wanted to let you guys in. We'll just give us a second and we'll set up, okay?
Got it.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming today. Welcome to another virtual program with Saved by Nature, Santa Clara Valley Open Space Authority, and virtual photo walks. We're really happy that you can join us today, and we're super excited about being able to bring nature to you. Every year, there's a big wildflower bloom, and we come up here and we bring groups up here to see it. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we're not able to do that this year, so we thought we would bring you up here so that you don't miss this wonderful and beautiful bloom. This is my favorite hike in all of Santa Clara County, and it's my favorite time of year. With me today is Katie.
We're actually starting at the top of the hike. Last week we did the bottom, so there's a lot of different wildflowers up here, lots of birds. We just saw some tulio, so hopefully we get to see some more. Coyote Ridge encompasses about 1,800 acre hills in the Diablo Range. So we're really lucky to be out here, especially on a gorgeous day like this. And the Open Space Authority, the Santa Clara Valley Open Space Authority, is very excited to have you guys join us today.
There they are.
So there's about, I don't know, how many you say, Katie, that we saw earlier?
When I was counting them, there's more than 40.
Okay. In 1978, 32, the tulio were reintroduced from Owens Valley. Owens Valley got their elk in 1933 from a farmer from Central California. They reintroduced these in 1978 up here. Hewlett and Packard, those rich gentlemen that own a lot of property back here, decided to let the Department of Fish and Game reintroduce them on their property. Cattle farmers weren't too happy about it because they do eat a lot of the cattle's grass and things. But we have one of the best reintroduction stories in the whole Bay Area. These are the largest species in our area, being the females being 300 pounds and the males being 500 pounds. And standing at shoulder, they're 5 feet tall. But it is a flower show, and so we got to get this flower show on the road. I can stay here all day looking at these tulio. And
Nice.
My name is Victor Tejeda. I'm the founder and executive director of a new nonprofit called Saved by Nature. This year is our 1-year anniversary, and we are doing amazing. We are happy to serve the residents of Santa Clara County and beyond. I want to play a song. It is a little windy up here. I'm going to play the Cherokee Native American flute, and this song is dedicated to Terry and Ray Rogaway. Y'all ready to see some wildflowers?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's it.
Ready to fly a kite.
Is that Keith Wandry? This is at a little angle here, viewers, so I'm going to do my best here. We're up a little.
We can see it fine.
Okay, and then after, I'll get
Nice.
closer once Katie's done talking about it. So this is a really cool street here. Okay, Katie, come on in. All
I
right.
think I'm actually going to step on the other side because my shadow's
Okay,
getting in the
perfect.
way.
Okay, let me back up out. All right.
Switch spots. Okay, guys. So this is a Franciscan wallflower. Most of the wallflowers that I'm seeing right now on this hillside in particular, it's just starting to be a little past their season. They come out a little bit earlier when we've gotten a lot more rain. Because of all the rain that we've gotten, I think that it's prolong their bloom just a little bit. These guys are, I think they're a member of the mustard family. And they're really cool. So you'll notice like the leaves are severely reduced, and the plants themselves are also really small. And part of that is an adaptation to serpentine soils. They don't grow very quickly. They don't grow very big because they're limited in the amount of nutrients that are in the soil. This is a California endemic, and so if anybody knows, like an endemic is basically a plant that can only be found in a certain place. So Franciscan wallflower is a California endemic. It can only be found in California, and it is pretty well adapted to serpentine soils, to poor soils. And it's probably some of the few places where you can find this kind of flower because of invasion from introduced grasses.
So I'm going to give you a nice close-up of this now, using this macro lens. Franciscan wallflower. Those that are in Michelle Geary's horticulture class, which I...
Bay checker spot butterfly, right?
Bay checker spot butterfly? Are you serious?
Yep.
So...
Right here.
It's still sunny. So we have a bay checker spot butterfly, which is the reason why, one of the reasons why Coyote Ridge is protected, ladies and gentlemen. This is an endemic, well, it's not endemic, but it's found here. This is its best endangered species, as Michelle's saying, and this is its best habitat that it has here at Coyote Ridge.
Oh, look at it. You can hardly see it. It blends in so well.
Right now it's sunning. I mean, yeah, it's sunning. As it warms up, it's going to move. You know, it's going to fly more. I call them little solar butterflies. Good eye, Katie. I would have never seen that. And so when you wonder, like, where do the butterflies go when you don't see them flying around? That's what they do. They just hang out right there. They're kind of, you know, dormant. And so this is a special treat. I was hoping that we would get to see this.
Actually, those bay checker spot butterflies, they emerge around early February. They mate. They lay their eggs at the very bottoms of like the Plantago erecta and the owl's clover, and those caterpillars will crawl up the stems up to the flowers, and they'll eat the flowers.
Cool.
Yeah, so in this kind of climate, in this kind of area, you have to actually see more caterpillars, especially in moisture areas, because that's where you see more of the flowers. But these guys, like these flowers, are only about like a few millimeters.
Cool.
They're not even a centimeter big.
Hey, making right here. I just want to show you.
Oh man, all those poppies.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let this sit for just a second. But we do have some poppies here, and we do have some other species that we're going to be getting into once we drop down into this area here.
Hairy. So I'm wondering if it's actually like the cotton flower, or yeah, because there's also like cotton plant out here too.
Yeah, I think it might be that one.
Yeah.
Because I don't see the
I don't see the flowers on there.
you might horticulture thinks it might be
plant.
in popcorn flower.
No, not popcorn flower. I think.
Oh, there is a popcorn flower right here, though. I can see
okay,
one.
Okay.
So maybe because it's mixed. There's one mixed.
There's so many different things here. Oh my gosh.
This one's interesting. This small one. So we'll head out into it. And then Mount Umunhum is right over this hill. Right over here in this corner is Mount Umunhum. So we can see the little tower. The little tower is right there at the edge. So that's Mount Umunhum. And then this other one is Loma Prieta. This big peak over here. And so when we look down into this valley over here, which I'm going to stop right there. This valley over here is where Coyote Valley Open Space is over here. And then this whole area is a Coyote Valley, the infamous Coyote Valley, which we might talk about in a second. The infamous. See, let me see if I can, how close I can get. See, I think I back up. Hold on. I'm trying to get this right.
Oh, somebody's saying to put your hand behind the flower so you can see the scale and help hold it.
see where's my hand. What do you got, hand? See if we can now. Yeah, that's a good. It's having a little bit of difficulty right now. Getting zooming right in, but if I do hold it, it does help.
Bunch grasses. The amount of forbs or broadleaf plants is a lot more diverse in here. You see the poppies. I
Nice
see
bird.
wavy leaf soaproot.
Wavy, yep. Look at the blue-eyed grass in there.
Blue-eyed grass.
So I'm sure we're gonna see that stuff over there. But yeah, I think we'll see that stuff over there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go over.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, you've got 79 people in here. The 80th gets a cookie.
All right. I give hugs myself. Okay, I'm coming in. Oh, look at that purple sanicle.
Oh man.
Some
Look at all the gold fields.
wavy soaproot. Poppies, popcorn,
Poppies.
fiddleneck.
Popcorn flower. Fiddleneck.
I see some tidy tips. Okay, I see some house clover. Okay, let's do this then. Let me set you up over here, Katie.
Right here we actually have gold fields, and that's actually what the majority of this is. Are California gold fields. You can find these flowers all over native grasslands, and they do really, really well on the serpentine soils because, like I said, the invasive grasses can't get into serpentine soil super well and shade them out. They're actually fairly low growing, and
Yes, California Goldfields.
yeah, and
Somebody asked if they're California Goldfields. Yes, California Goldfields.
and they're one of the coolest things about these. So when you see the hillsides painted with these particular types of flowers, you know that the pollinators are going to be doing awesome. Because each of these little tiny gold fields is actually comprised of several little tiny flowers. They're a part of the aster family, and asters, like sunflowers and daisies, they're all like compound flowers. So each of the little tiny puffs inside the flower is actually a flower in and of itself.
Cool. We'll try to get that macro lens after.
Yeah.
Try to get in on that.
And so, you know, when a bee gets on there, they're like, oh my gosh, I just have a nectar bomb, you know? We also have California poppies.
Let the kids know that's our state.
That is our state flower. I actually see a few in here. Some of these are closed, but they're starting to open up because of the sun in here. So that's exciting. They're another really good flower for native species. A great pollinator plant, as well as good for seed for a lot of birds. The purple owl's clover is part of the genus Castelleja.
Uh-huh.
And so it's actually very closely related to other paintbrushes. And those kinds of plants are actually hemiparasitic. They can photosynthesize and get some of their own nutrients, but they also basically lock into other plants, especially grasses, and they'll like take nutrients from other plants. But owl's clover is still really cool here because it's another host plant for the checker spot bay butterfly.
It's so soft. Like if you touch it on your face, it feels like one of those brushes where you put shaving cream on. It's really soft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're really gorgeous flowers, and they and most of the color that you see on them is actually not petals. Those are actually called bracts. They're modified leaves. So it's not actually a petal. Like the flowers themselves are really, really small on these types of plants, but they have a lot of pop to them because of those bracts on them.
And then right next door we've got the
What do we got?
Fiddleneck?
Yep, we got a fiddleneck right here. So I believe fiddlenecks are a part of the borage family. They are, they're hairy. They have a lot of little hairs on them. And fiddlenecks get their name because, I mean, if you've ever taken a look at them up close, they look like the neck of a fiddle. They're very, very curved, very elegant looking flowers. Also a great pollinator plant. So as you can see, like, you got a lot of food out here. A lot of food for native bees, native butterflies. Places like this are really, really important for our native species.
Set this up. So here's serpentinite. There is lichen on that. You know, Freddy fungus and Alice algae relationship was on the rocks.
Oh.
But they took a liking to each other. They worked things out. They're living together again. Everything's fine, right? So when we talk about serpentinite, just know that serpentinite is our state rock. It starts off as an igneous rock called periodite, and that starts off on the ocean floor. And as the North American plate and the oceanic plate collide, the oceanic plate is softer, so it subducts, meaning that it goes down. As it goes down, it gets closer to the mantle, which heats it up, and then steam provides like a water source, which metamorphosizes that rock into a metamorphic rock. And then now that rock gets dragged on land. It can be uplifted, and then when it rains, it gets eroded. So when we see these rocks here, these rocks could have been under soil, but you know, thousands of years of erosion could have made these rocks now exposed. And so serpentinite doesn't have much NPK or calcium, so no nitrogen, potassium, and phosphate, and calcium, all the things that these green plants need. So if we look, we see that here we have wildflowers, which means that there's a serpentine underlying base here. But when we point out this way, you can see there's a mix. There's a mix. There's a little bit of serpentine in here, allowing those serpentine flowers to thrive. But there's also nutrients in there, allowing there's also soil base in there, and that's allowing the non-native grasses to thrive. And so this serpentinite, our state rock, is the reason why, and the only reason why, all of these wildflowers are here. It's a relationship, an evolutionary one that's probably could be happening for hundreds of thousands of years. I'm going to take you right through here. I hope that answered your question. Here to the gold fields, we can see what Katie's talking about. We can see how there's like just thousands of try to back up just a little and hold it straight.
So the button is all the multiple flowers, and then the what look like petals, or what you were saying, are actually modified leaves.
But let me just stop right here and see if you guys can see this.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to point at some purple sanicle for them?
Yeah, and then maybe if we can, I'd like to point out these.
No problem.
These are tiny tips.
Let's see, where are we at, right?
Here we go. Oh, I didn't realize purple sanicle had these really cool leaves to them.
Hold it steady, let it focus.
Okay.
Very,
just a little.
Very bifurcated.
Pixels are having trouble catching up.
I know.
The flowers blowing in the wind.
Let's try the tidy tip. All right, you can do tidy tips.
All right.
That's great. Yeah.
Another member of the aster family. You can tell tidy tips because they have like this white. Man, there's so many gold fields in here.
Munching. Oh, there's some blue-eyed grass. We haven't seen any today.
Oh, perfect.
There's some
Let's see
information.
whether we can't get a good view on that.
Oh, look right here. Look. Nice. Let's go over here. Look what I found.
So we have some beautiful jeweled onion in here. So it is a true member of the onion family. While we were walking, I saw some other species. Actually, I do see some Malilla over there.
Cool.
But we'll take a look at that in a minute. But this is really cool. It is an actual onion, and it's a very good pollinator plant because it's a compound flower. And it has a bulb underground. It doesn't have a very big bulb like your bigger onions, but it still has that storage. So when its whole place dries up in the summertime, it has a way to kind of survive those harsh conditions and come back next spring. So very, very cool flower there.
People in Santa Clara Valley, 7 miles long, 2 miles wide, just one big aquifer, groundwater. But we also talk about it as connectivity between the Diablo Range and the Santa Cruz Mountains. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but the Diablo Range is much bigger than the Santa Cruz Mountains. So mountain lions and bobcats and gray fox and things like that. When they're in the Santa Cruz Mountains, they're kind of stuck in this area. But if they're able to move back and forth from the Diablo Range to Santa Cruz Mountains, we have subspecies and all this stuff. And this is one of the areas right here, is Bailey Road, right? So the closest point is actually by the power plant where we call the Coyote Narrows. But this is just kind of a visual for you to see how the foothills of the Santa Cruz Mountains, which are the end of Bailey Road, and it's kind of the Santa Teresa foothills as well, but it all is connected to the Santa Cruz Mountain Range. And then we're over here on the Diablo Range. So if you could just picture that as, you walking down that road, and you want to get from Santa Cruz Mountains to Diablo Range, how would you get there? Well, there's a road right there. The same with the animals. They need roads. Some go underneath, some go on top. And
it's places like this where we can see bay checker spot butterflies. We can see all kinds of butterflies, all kinds of bees, and it's a place where they can find refuge and help us when we need it. So I wanted to mention that. Seeing all these flowers, seeing all this potential energy, all this potential nectar, it gets me really excited.
Absolutely.
So,
So basically, like when we in the city and we're like, I wonder where everything goes and stuff. Well, this is one of the places they go, everybody. We filled that city with so much concrete and stuff, and they need a place to be, and this is particularly one of the places they go. I hope everybody's staying healthy, and just join us for more of these virtual walks. I just wanted